Not until recently did I realize that my attention span is a lot shorter than I thought it was. I think it was the other day that I tried to think about the things that I'm consuming and how much content I'm actually watching, and I couldn't think of any video. Like, I couldn't think of any of the videos that I was watching from the day before. And it makes me think about how sometimes we spend a lot more time searching for the best video to watch than actually watching videos. I don't think this is a problem until you realize that it's hard to watch movies. This video is titled My Short Attention Span. It's hard to remember all the videos that we watch. Especially if you're on the internet like me, you consume so much content, you go through so many memes, so many posts, so many shorts, so many TikToks. And so it's not really an issue until you realize that watching movies is a lot harder than it was before. Let me explain. Because the internet is set up the way it is, we have limitless amount of videos or media that we're able to consume at any time that we want. We probably spend way more time searching for a video than the length of the video itself. And a lot of us come into platforms like YouTube not really necessarily looking for a specific video in mind, but whatever grabs our attention the fastest. And so if a video hasn't engaged you within the first 5-10 seconds, then you're probably not going to watch the video. This goes into the concept of instant gratification, where all the videos that are being made right now are for engagement. Who can grab your attention the fastest? Who can fulfill that dopamine rush? Who can instantly gratify you? And I feel like this isn't a real issue until you try to start watching movies again. For a long time, I considered myself a movie fanatic, movie fan, a cinema buff, if you will. And lately, it's just hard to sit down and watch a full-length movie without doing anything else. And that sucks. It's because we've been conditioned to look for a certain type of content that gratifies us in that engagement way, in that, hook that reel you in. And I feel like movies weren't made like that before. I think some movies now are actually making films like YouTube videos, where it's like that screaming guy in the beginning of the YouTube video telling you to like and subscribe. Movies now are somehow being influenced by YouTube culture. When I try to watch a film like I used to, I can't, because it doesn't gratify the same itch. All this is worrisome to me because my attention span has been shortening day after day because of the content that I've been consuming online. Watching movies now, it's just so hard to retrain your mind to give yourself that full attention to just watch a full movie with nothing else going on and not desiring to watch something else that's more engaging. And I think there are some movies that keep you reeled in the whole time, but it's not cinema. It's like a YouTube-like movie. And not to put shade on YouTube videos, because there is a place for that, but because most of us watch more social media content than actual films, we are more conditioned to look at films like social media content. And that leads me to the short attention span that I'm talking about. Even outside of social media content, there is this urge to multitask all the time. So while you're doing something, you're also listening to music, or you're also listening to a podcast, or you're watching a movie while also watching something on YouTube. You're doing work while also playing games. And this idea of multitasking isn't real. It's not productive. It's not useful. We're not giving our full attention to the work we're doing, to the games we're playing, to the music we're listening, podcasts that we're listening to, if we're trying to do all these things at the same time. And we try to do these things at the same time because we want that attention grabbing feeling. We want to be entertained at all times. We want something to grab our attention all the time. In other words, we don't want to be bored. If we try to do one thing at a time, it's becoming boring. And that's weird to say. So what do? I feel like this has been this might sound like an overreaction, but I think it's been heavy on my heart lately. So I'm like, why not make a video about it? So these are the things that I'm doing to fix my attention span. Being able to watch more movies, not being so addicted to social media videos. Number one, I am allowing myself to be bored. That's like no content at all. Don't let yourself let your mind blank out. Zoom yourself out of your situation and just be free. Be present. Allow yourself to be bored. When you consume content, make your decisions limited. Go into social media with an intention. Don't let your mind just, let me see what's the best thing, or let me see what is the most engaging content that will grab my attention. Come in with intention to watch something and deliver on that. Another thing that you can do is recondition yourself to want to watch long form content. The longer the video is, the more you have to pay attention to it. So if you're just watching shorts, you're just literally frying your brain. You're just toasting your brain. You're literally putting your brain on a pan, putting it to 400, lighting it up and just poof. But if you watch more long form content, you're actually having to pay more attention to it. And just put your mind, just focus on that one thing that you're watching. Going back to the movie watching, to be able to enjoy cinema again, is that I'm going back to older films that are dialogue heavy. So these movies that don't rely on action-packed, visual stimulation. Instead, they rely on story and they require you to sit down and focus. These movies are great, and there's so many movies out there that don't get the attention because the environment of media now is engagement first. But if you go back and watch these older films, you'll appreciate storytelling, cinematography, and all that other jazz. Another thing that you shouldn't do is multitask. Allow yourself to individually focus on one thing at a time. You'll be able to get that task done, or you'll be able to enjoy that task if it's just that one thing. You don't always have to be stimulated with social media. Throw that stuff in the trash for a little bit, and then you can pick it up later. But let yourself not have to rely on attention-grabbing things. Thank you all for watching. My name is Gia. I make this content because sometimes you've had enough of the internet and you need to take your life back.